Now our next lesson is function and its inverse function. Now define inverse function. Now how to define inverse function? Now let f be a one-to-one onto function defined from set A to B. It is written mathematically f A to B. This is f is a function from set A to B. Mathematically meaning this is written like this. F be a one-to-one onto function defined from set A to B. Then a function g, another function g, is known as an inverse function of f, if it is defined from the set b to a, that is written g b to a, just opposite. F from a to b, another function g b to a. It is written as this: g is f inverse. This function g is known as inverse function of f, or f is also known as inverse function of g. Now from diagram I'll try to make it clear. Suppose there is a function f. This function f has defined from set a to b, from here to here, set a to b. If there is another function I have given name g, if that function defined from b to a, there are two functions, one is from a to b, another one is g b to a, then they are inverse of each other. This function g is known as inverse function of inverse function of f, or this function f is known as inverse of g. Now this is the definition of inverse function. Now I'll give one example. Here is function. What is the now? Slightly we have to change our thinking about function. Function I have written only f. Now it has mathematically how to write function. Now we have to understand function means any formula. That formula which is written in terms of its domain. That is mathematical form of function. I have written fx. Now I'll give one example of function. Suppose this one is set A, this one is set B, fx, okay, 2x plus 1. These are x, and domain codomain. Now I have written here fx equals to 2x plus 1. This 2x plus 1, it is in the form of equation 2x plus 1. There is a x only. X means this domain, this variable. Now this 2x plus 1, it is known as function. This 2x plus 1 is function, and we have given the name of this function is f. F is just name. Now, and I have written here x. Why I have written here x? This one is 2x plus 1 is function. In that function there is use of x variable. That x represent domain. That's why this 2x plus 1, in this 2x plus 1, this is function. Its name is f. In this function there is x. That's why this is function of x. This x is domain. Now from here what do we have to understand? When we write the value of x, x means all the elements of domain set A. Okay, I'll take few example. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3. What 3 elements of domain I have taken? X means this one also x, 2 also x, 3 also x. This x represent 1, 2, 3. Now write the value of x in this function 2x plus 1. 2x plus 1 is function, and its name I have given here f, and in this function there is x. X means domain, use of domain. That's why 2x plus 1 function f x. This is function of x. Function of x means function, this domain. Now write the value of x here in this formula. This formula which we say function. Now when you write the value of x, x equals to 1. when we write the value of x equals to 1, then 2 times 1 fx equals to 2x plus 1. Now I write value of x equals to 1, 2 times 1 plus 1 equals to 3. Now these are image. I have written by y. Now we have to understand like this also. This x in place of x, domain, value of domain 1. How to read this one? When domain is 1, at that condition, when value of domain we write 1, at that condition this formula means this function gives value 3. Functional value. Value of this function which we found 3. This 3 is called image, and which we write y. This y represent image. Now 1. When we write value of x equals to 1 here in this formula, it gives value 3. Now this y 3. One image we found, that is 3. This 3, another word, what is image? Value given by a function is known as image. Now here is another. When you write 2, just like that, when you write 2, f2, then it will be 2 times 2 plus 1, this is 5. Now image of 2, that is 5. Now we are finding the value of y. Now we can write here y also like this. Value, when we write value of x, it gives certain value, that value y. Now in this case these two are domain. This formula we have written in terms of domain, and value given by this function, that is image, that is our symbol y. Two variables x and y, x coordinate, y coordinate. First x coordinate domain, y coordinate image. In this way also we can study. Now another one is 3. Write the value of domain 3. Then what we will find? f3 equals to 2 times 3 plus 1, that is 7. Now this 3. Now we have to understand f1. f1 means 3. f2 means 5. This f2 total. How to read? It has another meaning. There is formula. This is function. In that function write the value of x1. When you write the value of x is 1, it gives image 3. That's why f1 represents image also. f2 means, how to read? What is the meaning of this one? There is a function 2x plus 1. In that function f2, when you write the value of domain 2, x equals to 2, that gives image 5. Now in this way also, f1 we can write 3, f2 we can write 5, f3 we can write 7. Now in this case, meaning this one another way, 1 3 order pair we can write like this. Next one is 2 5 order pair. Next one is we can write 3 7. See, meaning of f1. f1 is 3, means when we write the value of x equals to 1, it gives image 3. Then from here, this meaning of this one is domain 1 image 3, domain 2 image 5, domain 3 image 7. This is also meaning 1 3 2 5 3 7. You should know to study this one. You have to understand the meaning of this also. Now if it is given, then you should have capacity to write order pair 1 3 2 5 3 7 like this. Meaning of 1 2 3. Now this is function. This one is function. Name of this 2x plus 1 is function. Function of, I have given name f, function of x. Okay. Now this is function. I have given one example. 3 has image 7. Now this is function, and this is 1 to 1 onto 1 to 1 onto. This is the type of 1 to 1 onto function. Now in this function changes 1 2 3 2 to 5 3 to 7. 1 has 1. This is function, one example. Now in this function, how to find inverse? What is the inverse? Now inverse function means, now again, if there is another function again which changes again this image, this all image again in 1 2 3, that will be its inverse. Now, and then already I written here G, but I will not write G. In place of G, again I write F inverse. F inverse means just opposite. Now F inverse X, how to find? Now again, when we define now, from here to here, actually we write Fy equals to X, but we do not write like that. This again, this when in case of inverse function also, we write in terms of X. Again, we will say this one is just like X, this one is just like Y. Again, when we come from here to here, say this one is X, this one is Y, and we write in terms of X. Now, how to find inverse function? Okay. Now I am going to explain the method of finding inverse function of any function. Now, first process. Now find inverse of fx equals to 2x plus 1. This one is a question. How to find inverse function 2x plus 1? Now first here given function is fx equals to 2x plus 1. Now say like this, let y be the image of fx, image of x under the function fx, that is fx equals to 2x plus 1 equals to y. Now here is y. Y means this y. When you write the value of x in this function, this is the main function. Its name is this one. When you write value of x here, it gives value. That value is y. Now according to our assumption, this y is image of this value given by this function. Our assumption is y. This is y. Now take these two only. Here is y. Again find x. Now again from this y to x we have to find. Now here 2x equals to y minus 1. Find x. Here is y. Now again find x. X equals to y minus 1 by 2. Now here what we did? Here y equals to this y image, this was function. This function was in terms of x, but we changed the function in terms of y. See here, we found another function y having variable y minus 1 by 2. Now x is, we separated x from here. This x means this one. In this case, it was here x, function was in terms of x, and image this one. Now what we did? Now we change this function in terms of y like this. Now it is, now here is, this is the function, its value is x. Here was, this was function, its value was y. Now just opposite, this one is function, its value is x, means just opposite. Now we write this from the definition. Actually we are following the definition. It is clear that x is image of y under the function f inverse. It means, now from definition, this comes from definition, because this is a function from here to here. It is clear that this is a function x gives to y. Now here is y gives to x, just opposite, and from the definition we can say this is inverse. Therefore we write f inverse directly, f inverse x. Now this y this y we will write in terms of x minus 1 by 2. Actually y, and here is f inverse I wrote. I didn't write g, which was in our definition. Now that g, in place of g I wrote f, and inverse function, if inverse function is in terms of x, its inverse function also will write in terms of x. If it is in terms of y, its inverse function also written in terms of y. We have to say actually y, here should be y, but we have to change this y into x. Again, this is the, now this is the function. Now you can check meaning of, I write here x minus 1 by 2. This x minus 1 by 2 is inverse function. Now we found this is the inverse function of fx. Now only how to find inverse function. Now here what it does, now write the value of, say actually I have written here y. Now for this inverse function, say this all x, assume this all x, this one y. Okay, now write the value of x equals to this 3 here, 3. It gives 1. Check 3 minus 1. Okay, this one already I have written. Now I'll show to you. I'll drop this one. Now we have already found f inverse x equals to x minus 1 by 2. Now f inverse, now in place of this x, now these all will be x for this. For this function this will be x, this will be y. For this function this will be x, this will be y. That is, now in place of x we write this 3, not this one, because this function has divided from set b to a. 3, right here 3 minus 1 by 2, this equals to 2 by 2 equals to 1. See, this function gives 1. This function changes 1 to 3, and its inverse function changes this 3 to again 1. Meaning of inverse function. Similarly, write value of x equals to 5. This 5 gives 2. You can check. F inverse 5. In place of x, write 5. 5 minus 1 by 2. 4 by 2 equals to 2. See, we found 2. Similarly, f inverse 7. Yeah, 7. 7 minus 1 by 2 equals to 6 by 2 equals to 3. Now, see, inverse function. What is the meaning of inverse function? This is the process to find inverse function. First, write the function, write this sentence, and write this also, and directly change. Do not write in terms of y. This is the inverse function. And note, remember that in any function f inverse x or f inverse x times f will always be x. This is identity. If you write here 2, it also will be 2. If 3, 3, 4, 4, 5, 5, whatever be the domain, always result will be same. This one is just like its formula, you can remember, or you can practice from exercise. Now in book you will find question, this is for class 10, question, find inverse function. Now this is the method to find inverse function. After finding, for your understanding, you can check like this, which I did here. Now and this function sometimes, okay, function that I love this one. Function are written in different form, you have to understand. Now sometimes they write like this, x, for example 2x plus 1. Sometimes it is written like this also. If it is like this, then you have to understand fx equals to 2x plus 1. Or you will find arrow also sometimes like this. This is inverse. How to find inverse now? You can do the exercise from book, or find inverse function of, now few example, fx equals to 4x minus 5, b fx equals to 3x minus plus 8, inverse c f x equals to 2x plus 3 by 5. Okay, these three question, find inverse, find f inverse x. Here also find f inverse x. Here also find f inverse x. Now class 10, your first chapter, that is function. In function you have to find this inverse function. Now find this, and next lesson will be composite function, and how to find composite function, that will be in next class. Okay, this much. Try this. If you have book, practice from book, find inverse function, and try to understand types of function and solve these few question. If there is problem, then note that, and later I'll solve that one. Okay, thank you.